That's all right. 1 second. Woo! That's better. I'm getting better at it. That's all that matters. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Episode 7. And I just wanted to bring to light, but reflect on what we talked about last week. You know what? From being high on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and really talking about all the positive things in life, on episode 6, we talked about some lower things. And that's real, because we talked about the fact that we get put into funks as human beings. And that's something that I think we need to acknowledge. But the bigger picture to it is, do you know what month it is? It's September. Now, what is September? What does it mean? September just happens to be Mental Health Awareness Month. And it's important because we all struggle, whether it's on a small scale or on a big scale, but we all struggle and have our own battles when it comes to mental health and when it comes to mental illness. And I think it's important to bring to light this important topic that affects so many individuals around the world at all times. And you know what? It dawned on me within the last week, because let's be real, like, there's a lot of things, and I'm going to be totally transparent with each and every single one of you. There's a lot of things shifting and changing in my life, especially over this last month, within the last 4 months especially. And it has been crazy to wrap my head around the shifting and the bad things that are happening and the good things that are happening, but still being able to weigh it out. And you guys have seen what I've talked about before. You guys have seen my speech when I was in Michigan. I spoke in front of 200 youth on the topic of mental illness. I've struggled with depression, anxiety, and you know what? I've struggled with it. So let's talk about it. And let's take a second to understand that you have ups and downs in life. You have that roller coaster like we've talked about. It is okay to not vibrate high, to not be optimistic all the time. But the thing that needs to be addressed is that you have to address it. Like, does that make sense? Like, in order for something to change, you have to at least be made aware that it needs changing. You can't change something which you're not willing to admit exists. So that's step one. And I mean, you've heard that before, I'm certain. You've heard that concept that until you can accept that something has happened, you can no longer, or you can't work towards fixing it. So let's take a second today. Let's take a second today to understand that this is a very stressful time of year. For a lot of people, you're transitioning out of some of the happiest, most colorful months of the year for a lot of people in the world, and you're transitioning into cold and to snow and to cooler weather. You know, you're also, summer vacation is over. The time to have that extra time with your family and when most vacations are taken is over. It's back to school season. That's stressful. And so we need to understand that in this time of year, especially right now, that these emotions fluctuate much more rapidly than they normally do. So please, I urge you, if you are struggling with anything, reach out to somebody around you. Reach out to, whether it's your friend, your family, a certified practitioner in any field. But it's important to talk about these things, because when we let it sit unsaid, it tears away at us. And what turns into a quick roller coaster, we end up riding these lows much, much, much more. And once we hit that rock bottom, it can be more difficult to crawl out of that than it is when we first understood that these feelings were upon us. So take that step. The second thing to it is understand that it will be okay. You know, whatever you are going through, you have been given the ability to get through it. And to get through it in your own unique way. And maybe you just need a little bit of help getting there. But whatever it is, I'm confident that you can get through this. If you know somebody around you that is struggling with this, reach out to them and give them a helping hand. And let's do this together. So I got a lot of love for all of you. And I will see you next week on Mobile Minds episode 8, where it is unfortunately our last episode for this season. But I'm going to love it. I got something special planned for you. And until next time, keep those dice rolling. We'll talk to you soon. Good night.